Hello and welcome to your Wednesday Advanced webinar. My name is Jared Krebs. I'm live in San Antonio, and we have a special guest on today who is one of the favorites of USANA. But before we bring him on, I want to remind you of 10 things to expect when building your USANA business. Number one, there will be ups and downs, just like anything. Number two, success or failure is up to you. If you succeed, it's because of you. If you fail, it's because of you, not because of the person who invited you to USANA. Number three, the goal is for you to become independent and be an independent leader for your team. Number four, make your plan on the weekends. Do it, review it, and make adjustments. Plan, do, review, adjust. Number five, it's going to take time. It's going to take 1 year to become competent at the skill sets to do this business. It's going to take 3 years to develop a significant part-time income. It's going to take 5 years to develop a full-time income and 7 years to become world-class. It can happen faster, but it's going to take time. Number six, it takes consistency, consistent work and hustle. That's the name of this game. Number seven, you're going to have to grow and get outside of your comfort zone. Number eight, mental toughness is necessary. Number nine, the grass is not greener in other companies. I've seen people, basically, let's just put it this way. Each company is hard work. You go through the same ups and downs with prospects, etc. But the grass is always greener where you water it. And people are making it in USANA. So definitely keep watering your grass here. And number 10, this is a long-term game. USANA is 25 years strong with over $2.5 billion paid to its associates. It's helped me and my wife have a full-time income for over a decade, as well as thousands of people around the world. And hundreds of thousands have made a part-time income with USANA. And few have done it as well as Dr. Ladd McNamara, who is a top Emerald Director $1 Million Club member in USANA, then also a top doctor. He has a website called Dr. Ladd VIP that helps USANA associates all around the world. I use it every day. And we are so blessed to have him with us today. Dr. Ladd, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to share with us your USANA story. We want to know what your life was like before USANA. What were some of the challenges you were faced with? Then what has USANA done for your health also, and maybe your life? And now what's your life like today thanks to your USANA business? And then we'll open it up for questions at about 20 past.
Sure.
Welcome, Dr. Ladd.
Yeah, well, sure. Well, thank you, Jared. I appreciate you having me on. Well, you asked me what my life was like before USANA. Well, I was, after going through school and through training for years, it seemed like, and then finally going into private practice in Atlanta, Georgia, I was just working all day long, seeing patients all day, doing surgery all day, delivering babies all day and all night long. And throughout the week, I was probably sleeping maybe 3 nights a week. And half the week I was just tired. So I was literally just chronically tired, and I had developed chronic fatigue syndrome. I didn't even know what it was like to be rested anymore. And I was just kind of always just thinking, oh my goodness, another, 30, 40 years of this. And I was just continually just worn out, and just in the middle of the night, I'd be called all the time, and just thinking how, there must have been something else. And did I make the wrong decision to go into obstetrics? Although I love delivering babies, just being worn out and tired all the time and just didn't know what to do. And then what was happening was that although we were working harder, the income for doctors was going down all the time. And my medical, my partners, my colleagues were always complaining about how their income was going down as well. And so it just was not a very favorable circumstance that we're in. And so this is going on in the background. And at the same time, as I was talking to my mom regularly, one time on the phone, she was saying, Ladd, every time I talk to you, you're always so worn out. And I said, yeah, Mom, I just don't get much sleep. And she had just learned about USANA just for a few months. And she said, I need to send you out some of this USANA vitamins. And I was like, what is that? And she told me and how she got it, and it was through network marketing. I said, oh, Mom, come on, please. You need to stay away from that. It's just, it's just crazy. And besides, I'm taking Centrum once a month, and I don't need vitamins. And besides, I'm a doctor, and if there was something that was really working out there, I would know about it. And so all this kind of stuff, all this resistance I was putting up about how it was distributed, and the fact, and also the medical part of it. So, but That didn't stop my mom. She was persistent. She finally just sent me out some essentials at the time, and because I had them, I took them. But what I remember when I looked at the bottle, I looked at the amount of vitamin C, because of many of the things I didn't really understand, but I did understand vitamin C. And I looked at the bottle there, and it said 2,000% the US RDA, and I thought, oh my goodness, that's a lot of vitamin C. You know, that's just too much. They're going to probably kill somebody with that amount. And I thought, oh well, I'm just going to take it anyway. I took the essentials, and it wasn't even a week, and I was just feeling a lot better. Although I wasn't sleeping anymore, and I was still working hard, I did feel a lot more energy. I'm feeling great. And then it wasn't much longer. I heard from my wife's grandmother just shortly after that, and my mom had put her on the proflavanol, and she had some bad hip issues, and she was housebound, and she was now, after about 3 months, she was walking a mile every other day around the neighborhood. And I was going, wow, that's incredible, because I already knew her situation. And I know she wasn't trying to sell me anything or lying to me. And so when I had some patients come in with some issues with their hips and joints and pain, I said, you know what, why don't you, or I talked to actually a nurse in the hospital. I said, why don't you try some proflavanol as well? And so what happened was, I had patients and this nurse at the hospital who had problems, and I started recommending some USANA to them, and they started coming back with great reports. So the more these people started having some responses, it was giving me some positive reinforcement that this was working. And then, so what happened was, I went ahead and got enrolled in USANA because I was able to get these people on the products. But I still wasn't interested in building a business, and I didn't even think that it was going to even be much more than maybe if it paid for the products for my auto ship. If it did that, then I was happy, and that's all I was really cared about. So as I started telling people about the products, you know, and I remember I got my first $100 check, and I thought, well, that's cute, you know, that's nice. I can go out to dinner with it or pay for my products. And they still didn't think much of it. And but what was really exciting to me about it is I read about Dr. Wentz, about the science, learning more about these things that I was seeing, that people were having such significant results from that. I mean, to me, these things weren't supposed to happen. I was getting excited that I'm thinking, well, they didn't teach me this in medical school. I didn't learn this about these results in residency program. And I thought, well, what else didn't they teach me? So I really started digging into the science about it. And I thought I could really be helping some patients. So I got more excited about it. And I still didn't even catch the vision about the business. And looking at, you know, the Health and Freedom newspaper. Of course, we don't have the Health and Freedom newspaper so much, but what in the Health and Freedom, I looked at that. I looked at the compensation plan. I remember one day I was just at home thinking about this, and I saw that, as we saw, we had the 3 centers, and I saw below the 3 business centers, I saw that, you know, you have the 4 people on your front line below the 3 business centers. And I thought, you help the 4 people there, and you get those 4 lines going. And I started thinking, well, if you get the 3 business centers maxed out, I just thought about that. I thought, wow, that's what, $156,000 a year. Wow, plus some bonuses. So that's basically, I didn't even think about reentries or anything like that. I was thinking, wow, that's a lot of money just by helping 4 people get going. I was thinking, And I thought, then I talked myself out of it, thinking, I don't know 4 people who'd want to do this. You know, and I said, in all of Atlanta, I don't know 4 people. And so I kind of set it aside for a little bit. And then what happened is, as I got so excited about the results I was seeing, that my confidence, my belief in the products was so high. My belief now in who Dr. Wentz was and the science of it was just this thing inside of me, and the passion within inside of me just got to such a level to where I was thinking, oh my goodness. I said, you know, I can do this. And I went over to my friend's house and I said, Scott, I said, give me a credit card. And he said, what for? I said, well, I'll tell you later. Just give me a credit card. I had this application at the time. And I said, just give me a credit card. He said, what for? I said, I'll tell you later. Just give me a credit card. And he said, all right. So I started filling out the application. And filling out the application, he said, "Oh, I need your social security number." He said, "Well, of course." I said, "I'll tell you later." And then finally, what I did is I sent that in, and on his fax machine, he had one. And he said, "What did you do?" I said, "I just enrolled you in USANA with me." He said, "Oh, lad, you didn't do that." I said, "Yeah." Well, he said, "I swore never to my wife I would never join a network marketing company." I said, "I'll tell you what, Scott." I said, "Is that I'm going to be successful at this, and I will not leave my best friend behind." And I just looked at him. I said, "All right then, well, what do we need to do?" I said, "I have no idea, but we're going to do it." And so what we decided to do is that we just figured we would figure it out. We had no idea. We didn't have there wasn't really any training. There was just a videotape of, here's what USANA is. That we didn't have a health and freedom presentation. We just had to figure it out. The point is that we knew what we wanted. We wanted to build this and help other people make this happen. So it was just a matter of, there was something we needed to make happen, so we would just make it happen. And of course, Scott became successful along with me. So, but the point is that how you do it is irrelevant. Now, there are ways to make it happen much more successfully. There are skills that you can learn to make it go faster, and there are trials, and everybody makes the mistakes along the way. But if you know what you want, the passion can drive you, because once you have that knowledge of what you're doing and that vision of what you want, it's just a matter of getting there. So what has driven me for over 24 years now is the absolute knowledge that this is the right company, that Dr. Wentz has the vision. I hitched my vision to and made it to the vision of Dr. Wentz and made it in alignment with that vision, knowing that despite the bumps along the way or whatever little minor mistakes that the company might make in here and there, doesn't matter, because the vision was always correct, and what this company was founded upon, and that was being able to change the health of the world. And getting to know Dr. Wentz personally as I got to know him, and knowing what he was about and knowing what the company is about, then there was just nothing to stop us. So I hope nobody ever questions what this company is founded upon and what these products are created for. These truly are the best products in the world, and there's no other company like it. That's the short version of the story. So, I mean, we can dig into a little bit more, but I don't want to bore anybody with it. There's a lot of other details and a great number of stories and testimonials about the business, about my challenges, about results I've seen along the way. But that's kind of the results in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's kind of like how you got started in a way and found it and the challenges. That's so cool. So you started your USANA business, you started sharing it with people, you started to learn the activities of building this type of a business, you started to give the products to people. And what were some of the big things that the products did for your health along the way?
Well, like I said, I had chronic fatigue syndrome. I had Epstein-Barr virus, one of the largest titers or worst lab tests you could ever see, because I was wondering, why am I so fatigued all the time? I would be put on the couch many times. It's all I could do to get through the day. And when I started taking the products, and particularly when I increased the proflavanol, I literally forgot I had it. And then when coquinone came out and I took that, it just had the energy, abounding energy. And when I knew after a couple of days, if I even went without the products for a day or two, if I traveled, I was back on the couch. And so so I just make sure I never forgot the products. It was that dramatic of a situation. So I could talk from my own experience when I talk to patients with fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome. I would literally talk to them in this manner. They would come in and say, "Dr. McNamara, they're here for their annual exam or whatever, and they're dealing with fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome." I'd say, "How are you doing with your chronic fatigue syndrome?" And they'd say, "Well, not so well." And I asked what they're trying for, what they're doing, and they would say this or that. And I said, "Well, how's it working for you?" Their answer usually is it's not perfect. It's not what they want it to be. And I said, "Well, how would you like to have your life changed?" how would you like to get back to, how would you like to get your life back? And they said, well, we'd love it. I said, all right, well, take this. They said, well, I don't know. I don't know if it will. I said, well, I got my life back. You know, I said, and I would just say, take this and you'll have your life back. And I said, what dose it takes, I don't know. But there is a dose that will work. And that's all that matters. What dose it takes, I don't know. How long it will take, I don't know. But I know there is a dose, and I know there is a time it will take. And so those are some of the things I would, you know, I don't want to say too much to get out of compliance, but the point is that I saw some things like whether it was, and I got asked to go speak at conferences like endocrinology conferences on diabetes, on type 2 diabetes, talk about why my patients who were insulin dependent diabetics, who after 6 months, 9 months, no longer needed insulin and who were no longer considered diabetics, why that was happening when that was considered impossible. And this is back in the 1990s when that was not supposed to happen. And of course, now they're seeing that, okay, well, maybe it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. But I remember doctors and registered dietitians telling me, standing up during this conference saying, that's impossible. I said, it's happening. This was happening. And I would explain it. Not this Friday, but next week on Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific, and that's 10 p.m. Central, I'm doing a webinar on diabetes. And of course, in my VIP program, I talk about that as well, about diabetes, why that happens. How oxidative damage damages insulin receptors and how you can protect that. But that's a whole other story. But the things that I saw happen and the changes in people's lives are just short of astounding. I remember when Dr. Wentz and I were talking in my kitchen in Atlanta, and I was saying, Dr. Wentz, I said, when you created the USANA products, the essentials, I said, did you ever think we'd be seeing the result? The other doctors and I are reporting the stories we're hearing back. I said, no, lad. He said, I never knew that we'd be hearing the results that we're hearing because I just knew what was right for the cell. I just knew that what micronutrients that we needed to put in the products and what the ratios and the balance needed. And he said, and as we put these things together in the right balances, and he said, and with a little inspiration from, because that's we created the essentials. But what we're seeing has just been phenomenal. And I said, every doctor in the world needs to hear about this. Every patient needs to be aware of this. And I said, I just want to get the word out. What can I do? And he said, I don't know. What can you do? I said, well, I can get out there and tell the story. He said, well, that's what I want. And I said, well, I want to get out there and do it. He said, well, then do it. So I said, okay. And that was pretty much it. In other words, you don't need an invitation. You don't need anybody to sit there and tell you, go out and do it. We're independent. We're out there. It's our job to, and you said in the beginning, as one of the 10 principles, Jared, is it's up to us to make it happen. You know, whether we succeed or fail, it's up to us individually. So whether we do it in the business, I mean, our business is to tell the story of Dr. Wentz, of these products, of the business, and then to turn that passion and to convert that story into a message that can change people's lives, and then to make that our business, both figuratively and literally. Because once you can help other people get what they want, and then you have this business that can change people's lives, and then you can certainly make that a powerful business. I remember another part of it is that in my practice, if you don't mind me saying this part of the story too, is that when I was in my practice, I had 5 other medical doctors with me, and I was an associate and not a partner. I had 5 other doctors who were partners in the business, and I was like maybe 5 or 6 months in USANA, making about $100 or $200 a month at that time, not very far along. And the doctors, and I was about 6 months from being partner in the medical practice. And I say this only because it makes a significant difference for what was happening. And what happened was is that I was making about $175,000 a year as a physician, and I was 6 months from being a partner where they're making half a million dollars a year. So I was close to having a significant jump in my income. And I remember that one day that they called me back to the conference room and they said, hey, the practice administrator said, the doctors want to see you in the conference room. And I said, oh, maybe they want to make me partner early or something. I've been doing such a great job. When I got back, they said, hey, Dr. McNamara, sit down. We want you to stop talking to people and talking to your patients about USANA. I said, what? Why? I said, well, there's no evidence that vitamins, this is in 1995. They said, there's no evidence that USANA can help, or that vitamins can help people. I said, yeah, actually, I've been collecting information. There's like 20 years of studies showing that vitamins and supplements can make a difference. I have a lot of studies on my desk. I can go get them right now if you want. They said, no, don't bother. Don't need it. I said, well, what's the problem? I said, well, you're making money off your patients. I said, well, what are you all doing? You know, and I said, well, that's different. We're helping people. I said, well, I'm helping people too. They're improving. They're having a lot of benefits. So, well, no, that's different. I said, well, don't we sell prenatal vitamins here in the office? And don't we make money off of it? Yeah, but that's different. Don't we do ultrasounds and mammograms here in the office? Don't we make money off of it? Yeah, but that's different. We help people. I said, well, what about the lab work? Don't we make money off all the lab work we do? Yeah, but that's different. I said, hell, I said, it's all healthcare. We're helping people. I don't understand. And they said, well, it makes you look like a quack and it doesn't fit in here. I said, well, I'm allowed to treat my patients however I feel necessary. I said, well, that may be so, but it doesn't fit into our practice. And if you talk about USANA anymore, we will fire you. I was like, whoa. Let's see, I'm making $200 a month at USANA and $175,000 a year with medicine, about to make $500,000. I have a mortgage, 3 kids, another one on the way, pretty soon, and I can't be fired. It's like, I mean, what would you do? I shut up. I had to be quiet. I couldn't be fired. And so what happened was I was quiet. And so I had patients come in and say, oh, Dr. McNamara, I'm so tired. I'm fatigued. I have arthritis. What can I do? And I had to be quiet. I knew that USANA could help them, but I had to be quiet. I couldn't be fired. And it was like a couple months went by, and this new patient came in, and this changed everything for me big time. But she came in and she said, Dr. McNamara, and I remember she came in for annual exam, and I said, so what are you doing later today? She said, well, after this, I go to see my rheumatologist. You see, I have this chronic, I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I have fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, and I have all these other things going on, and nothing's been able to help me. And I'm thinking in my head, it's thinking, oh man, I have something that can help you, but I can't say anything. That's what I thought. And she said, and then she turned to me and she said, Dr. McNamara, if you ever know of anything or ever hear of anything that could possibly help me, would you please tell me? Would you please let me know? And the way she said it to me just struck me to my soul, and it just racked me, and just racked my conscience. And I just kind of looked down at the chart and looked down, and I was pretending to read my chart, her chart, but really what I was doing, I was kind of saying a silent prayer to myself, thinking, and I thought to myself, Heavenly Father, this woman needs my help. I know what can help her, but I can't be fired. And I heard in my head these words. Said, you took an oath to alleviate suffering. You didn't take an oath to make money. And then I was like, that just really got my conscience at that time. And I just took a deep breath. I said, okay. And these were the exact words I said to her. I stood up and I said exactly this. I said, I'm going to give you a number to a company called USANA and have you order some products. But before I do, I need you to promise me something. She said, okay, anything. I need you to promise me that if you have any results, or even if you don't, that you don't tell anybody that I ever told you to get these products. She said, okay. I said, so you call this number and you order these essentials you order these double dose of proflavanol. All right, here's what you order. You take this every day. All right. She said, okay, I'll do it. All right. Said, all right, don't tell anybody I ever said that. She said, okay, that's it. That was it. I didn't explain it to her. I didn't tell her what she'd expect. I didn't tell her the quality of it. Nothing. That's all I said. And I said, and then I just did the exam and didn't think another thing of it. About 6 weeks went by, 6 or 8 weeks went by, and I was in the office and I was ready to go in to see another patient, and I was just kind of reviewing a chart, and I heard a woman come in and talk to the front office, and I could hear her I could hear somebody from the front office, the waiting room, and I heard a woman from the waiting room saying to the receptionist, she said, I just stopped by to tell Dr. McNamara and let the other doctors know that this products that Dr. McNamara put me on has helped me so much. These vitamins and grapeseed extract that he put me on has helped me with this pain and this arthritis, and I feel so much better. And I want to let all the doctors know that this young doctor they have with them is just great, and just how much it's helped me. And my knees buckled. I got cold sweats, and I just felt like I was just so scared. And sure enough, that very day I was fired. That one decision to help that patient, it cost me my job and the potential loss of several $1 million, of $7 million. And it was the hardest. I've never been fired from anything in my life. And I want to say that it wasn't all bad, because it changed the course, and it took me a while to kind of regroup, start up somewhere else and get patients. But a couple years went by, and I was in the hospital rounding on some patients, and one of the old partners from that group that had fired me, she came up and she saw me in the hospital. She said, hey, lad, you still doing that USANA thing? I said, yeah. What's going on? She said, well, we're still seeing some patients that are in the group, and they're still taking the USANA, and we hear some great things about it. And she said, I want to get on the USANA. As a matter of fact, how do I start selling that stuff? I want to get in USANA. Of the 5 doctors, 4 of the doctors joined me in USANA, and they continue to enroll people in USANA, and the point is that I continued to increase and grow in USANA. And the one doctor that didn't join me in USANA, he was in labor and delivery one night, and he said to me, man, I've missed so many of my life's experiences. I've missed graduations. I've missed I missed birthdays and anniversaries. He goes, and he goes, if I had to do it all over again, I would do something else in life. And I said, I've missed many things already in my life. I don't want to miss so many things in my life as well. I'm going to make a 5-year plan to drop obstetrics and just do gynecology. 5 years. And he goes, what are you going to do? He goes, that USANA thing? I said, yeah, I'm going to do that USANA thing. In 5 years' time, I'm going to make enough money in USANA to drop obstetrics and just do gynecology. He goes, oh, that'll be the day. I said, you watch, I'll do it. He goes, yeah, you won't be able to do it. He goes, even if you had 10 years. Well, I did it in 1.5 years. That point, so to be able to continue to increase that. So USANA has been truly a blessing in my life, even though that firing seemed like it was the toughest day of my life. It was actually a blessing in life, because it changed the course, many other things, and travel the world and just do so much more than I've ever done. And again, it's even though I've done well with USANA, and I could have made more money maybe with medicine, but the thing is, there are benefits beyond making as much money as you want. You can still make a great living with USANA, which it's about, but life is much more than money. It's about purpose as well. So yes, make good money with USANA, but also have a fulfilling life by helping other people as well. So that's my philosophy.
Wow.
So.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Dr. Ladd. I know that that's not always the easiest story to share, and I really appreciate that you took the time to share it. I've actually heard it before. I remember you saying it live, in these big events, and just being mind blown. And it's just the same today for me to hear. And it's so exciting to see how things have really developed for you over the last, let's say, decade with USANA and all of the great things that have happened in your life. And we have all these comments coming in right now. Clara Martinez, she says she's super excited to hear Dr. Ladd. My dad and I took his advice. I was able to get out of my depression, and my dad had an amazing testimony with diabetes. Grateful to you, Dr. Ladd. You were an angel sent my way during the doctor's tours that saved my life.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool. Sue Ann Knobloch says, thank you. I have your VIP. I'm really benefiting from it. So Dr. Ladd, can you tell us about your VIP program? How can associates get your program? And what exactly is it?
Thank you very much for those comments. I created the Dr. Ladd VIP program a couple years ago to help associates to be able to help their business, to help them to acquire customers, support their customers, be able to give them some information that they can, although it's generic, they can apply it to USANA, information that will say, why do they want supplementation? Number one, how to choose a quality supplement, how can supplements affect heart disease, diabetes, cancer, how can it help many other conditions, what information can they give, what protocols can they use? Although the protocols are in generic, even though it says a vitamin, antioxidant, a mineral, grapeseed extract, coenzyme Q10, a liver support product, a beta-glucan, which you can then use towards your preferred supplement, which is a proglucamine. You can use these supplements, and it can then be provided in a minimal protocol, a basic protocol, an average protocol, or an advanced protocol. So there are different levels of protocols they can use. What protocol can you zero in on that can use to help with fibromyalgia or Lyme disease, or what can be used for acne, and what about, so just different things so your customers can see a professional protocol, that's something that makes you look better as a professional associate or as a representative of USANA. It has videos that you can share with your customers. It has articles and protocols you can share with your customers that you can send to them. So that's what's available. And there's other information on there, as well as information for if you want to talk to health professionals, medical professionals, recorded webinars on there. And it's continuing to build out, as well as a Facebook page, which I'm always on there to help you with replying to your questions about what comes up. I'm assisting you along the way with any questions or concerns that comes up. So I'm there basically in your back pocket. I'm there on call for you. So that's a huge value to you. So that's what the VIP program is there for. Just to be just to assist you along your way in USANA. The VIP program is you can enroll with it. It's as an annual member or a lifetime member. You can go to drladdvip.com, as Dr. Ladd, Ladd, VIP.com, and then I know I have a discount for the Team DSI. I think the discount code is Team DSI, all capital letters. If you use all capital letters, Team DSI, as a coupon code when you check out, then that gives you a 30% discount, which is, then it comes out to about $11 a month on average or something like that. It's $139.30 per year. So that's a little less, it's a little about $11 per month or something like that, $11 or $12 a month on average. So I think that's.
Well, I want everyone that's watching to know how much I use it. I send you questions almost every day or at least a couple times a week. And it's just made such a huge difference in my business because I have prospects, they have questions, and I say, well, let me go ask Dr. Ladd. And it's just great service, and your protocols are tremendous. And we send those links, and my prospects love them. So if you're watching and you're a USANA associate and you want to really take your business to the next level, get in the Dr. Ladd for the year, or I think there's even a monthly option too, right? Like you can do a year, or they can do.
Yeah, if you want the monthly option, then just email me or contact me on Facebook. I can send you the link to enroll for that. It's $24 a month if you want the monthly option, because the monthly option for that is not, the link is not there automatically. If you go to drladdvip.com, you scroll down, And you'll see for annual and lifetime enrollment options, but just message me and I can send you a link for the monthly option to enroll for that if you'd like. What was I going to say? Oh, if you want to read testimonials on that, you go to drladvip.com, and if you put /testimonials in plural testimonials, you can read a lot of people's testimonials on that and how that's affecting them. And you can see a lot of people you'll know, there. So if you don't believe what Jared's saying and other people are saying, then you can see that other people are having success with it and how valuable it is. I do, and I do want to always, I am improving it all the time. So.
Yeah, no, it is so tremendous. I don't know why I'm getting some feedback. Hold on.
Thank you.
Okay, so I do want to say too that we've run out of time for questions.
Okay.
But if you want to ask Dr. Ladd a question, go join Dr. Ladd VIP, because you can ask him questions and he gets right back to you on the public or on the private Facebook group, and it is tremendous. It is a tremendous service. So Dr. Ladd, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to share your story, your experiences, and thank you for your consistent service to the USANA family. You have blessed all of us so much over the years. Thank you for being a great friend in my life. Thank you for helping me and Crystal through all of our health challenges along the way as well. And what's your last piece of advice to associates that are watching this video?
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Well, number one is don't be afraid to talk to people and share your passion. In other words, just be, as you said, be consistent and be friendly. And when people just say they're not interested, that's okay. Still love them for it, and be available to them when they do open up. When they say no, you say you love them anyway, and then guess what? Sometimes backing off will allow them to open up, and you can still be of service to them. That sometimes allows them to open up back to you. So just be there for them, and you'll be surprised what you can offer them. So appreciate that. Thank you for your friendship, Randy. I mean, I'm looking at Randy's name right there.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome. You're Randy too, but I was looking at Randy's name and I looked over at Randy, but Jared as well. So thank you both.
Of course. All right. Well, thank you again, Dr. Ladd. It's been an awesome half hour. Time flies when you're having fun. We're going to unmute the lines, and everybody say thank you, Dr. Ladd, and have an awesome day.
Thank you, Dr. Ladd.
Thank you, Dr. Ladd.
Everyone.
Have an awesome day.
Thank you, everybody. Jared, thanks for inviting me. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.